this is for both of you. And there's a new nonpartisan study out there that shows that more New Hampshire graduates left school with loans than in any other state. And the average student debt was more than $36,000. For Senator Ayotte, you voted twice for large budget bills that included cuts to Pell Grants, federal money for needy students, then voted against a bill specifically to restore $90 billion in cuts. Why?
John, that's not true. That budget resolution did not cut Pell Grants. In fact, what it did was made sure that there was annual oversight over the spending of Pell Grants, which I want that, by the way, for all federal spending. But I've actually worked to expand Pell Grants, and if I were against Pell Grants, I wouldn't have done that. I've worked with the vice presidential nominee for the Democratic Party, Tim Kaine, to expand them to career technical education and also supporting to expand them so you can seek access to them year-round. Perkins grants, they were trying to end those in Washington. 5,000 students in New Hampshire would have been impacted. You can go see my speech on the Senate floor on September 29th, 2015, where I fought to keep those availability of that for people in New Hampshire. So for me, I had student loans myself, paid them off, then transferred that money into child care. I know how important this is for the kids in New Hampshire. This is very important. And by the way, when it comes to education, I'd like to talk about that more because, what Governor Hassan did to the kids in Croydon by vetoing a bill that would have allowed them, Croydon doesn't have a middle school, these middle school students, their parents and the local school board wanted to send them to a Montessori school, and she vetoed a bill that would have allowed them to do it. I want parents to decide these issues. And to me, I think there's a big difference in terms of how we view education.
Take a little extra time to respond, please, Governor.
Well, first of all, I know how important to both our families and our businesses, making sure that higher education is affordable. And it's something that I've made a priority as governor. We want to make sure that everybody who works hard has a chance to get ahead and stay ahead, and that our middle class is growing and thriving. That starts with access to affordable higher education, which is why I worked as governor to freeze in-state tuition at our public universities for the first time in 25 years and lower it at our community colleges. And it's why in Washington I would continue to make bringing the cost of higher education down a priority. But my economic plan also speaks to expanding Pell Grants because it is such a critical issue for our young people and our businesses. And
Governor,
I do have to... Okay.
We're going to keep
Okay.
with this topic, though, but we got to keep moving forward. Next question, please.
Yeah, back to you, Governor. You support Pell Grants, but New Hampshire is one of two states that does not offer need-based aid to students. Why hasn't that been a priority in the last 4 years?
Well, I'll continue my answer for just a second to say that on the Pell Grant issue that you asked, Senator Ayotte, people should just check for themselves. On March 27th, 2015, she voted for a budget that had $90 billion of cuts to Pell Grants. Day before, she voted against an amendment to that budget that would have restored that $90 billion. And the federal budget director said that that bill contained $90 billion of cuts. And it's one of the reasons Senator Shaheen voted against it. We should be doing more on scholarships in New Hampshire. I was glad that in my first budget we were able to restore scholarships that had been cut in previous budgets.
Okay.
Your option. Senator, please.
No, I just, you can go read it yourself, Senate Concurrent Resolution 11, and I got to tell you, it didn't cut Pell Grants. But, also, I think this issue about education and the fact that Governor Hassan here in New Hampshire doesn't want to allow parents and local school boards to decide where it's best for their kids to go to school. And I think that's perhaps because federal education unions have pumped millions of dollars in this race who are supporting her campaign. I'm going to stand for the kids first, not unions, and make sure that kids can go where their parents think is best.
Well, what I would like Senator Ayotte to do and agree with me about is to stand for the New Hampshire Constitution. The New Hampshire Constitution says that state dollars can't be used to fund private schools. And so we have a court ruling that says we can't spend the money that way, and so we can't spend the money that way. And we will work with the people of Croydon to make sure that their children have access to a good quality education, something we work to do throughout the state.
All right, thank you very much, Governor. Moving forward.